Okay, so this is the oil pump out of the original engine in my 2004 Ford Explorer with the 4-liter V6. And basically after I took this out of the engine, I just kind of wrapped it up here. And now I'm going to tear it down, because I want to see what condition this pump's in. So this pump, it's not really focusing very well on the camera, it would appear. Hold on. Okay, that looks a little better. Yeah, so I took this out and, oh boy, now I'm going to tear it down. So that engine had I think 185,000 miles on it. And when I got into it, it was really, really sludgy. So this is all that old, I think this paper towel was actually white when I started. But this had, ooh, it stinks. But this engine was very, very sludgy, and the timing chain guides all broke apart. And the pickup screen was just clogged with plastic debris. And also the timing chain tensioners and the chains were wearing against each other, metal on metal. So there was quite a bit of debris floating around in the oil, metal shavings in the bottom of the oil pan, and for as long as this was running, it all got sucked up into this oil pump. So today, I want to find out what it looks like inside of here. I think I will start by taking this pickup tube off. See what size that might be. Bigger than T30. Or at least I thought it. Wait a minute. T40. This I think is 27. Huh. Well, it should be T30. Unless there's like a T35. Oh, there's a 40. It does not fit. Huh. That's weird. All right, I'll try the T30. Okay. That actually looks pretty clean. Wonder what that little O-ring here is for. Maybe some kind of a bypass hole or something. A bypass hole within this plastic though? I guess it would have to be. Why else would it be there? I wonder if I clean that. I don't see anything there. Like, I don't see a bypass hole that goes from that tiny hole across into the big one. You know, I don't see like something that's cross drilled or side drilled. And there's no relief in here as if it was drilled on an angle. Huh, that's kind of weird. Why would they put that extra little hole like that? Oh well. Ooh, this really stinks. Okay, so far it looks all right. Let me get this out of here. It's gonna fall anyway. So that would be the pickup, that would be the drive, and that would be the output, where it blows the oil back into the block. So I think that's the Ford part number. Kind of hard to see it. Anyway. Wow, it's just very thick with sludge. From all that sludge. From all that oil that was just, man, they never changed the oil in this thing. And there's just no way for it to be this bad. Now, you know what? I think that's the actual part number. And I think this may be part number for the bottom part. It's very hard to read it. I think that's the part number for the actual oil pump itself from Ford. Let's see what else we can find on there. Okay, I think that's good enough. Let me wipe it a little bit more. Yeah, I think that's about good. All right. Let's open it up. Wow. Okay. Oh boy. Nope, that's not going to work. I'm going to have to use the vise to do this. I just cannot get leverage on it trying to hold it still. Okay. Well, good thing I have a vise right there. Yeah, how am I going to hold this in there? There's a boss right there I can use. Actually, get it right there. I don't want to get that other side caught. Okay, that ought to work. Come on now. Okay. All right. Well, now that that's loose, I'm just going to take it right out. Flip my table around again. All right, that'll work. Man, look at that sludge that's coming out of there. Whew, boy. Wow. Told you it was thick. Man. That's nasty. Man, it's just coming out very slow because it's so thick. Yeah, I just can't wait to get this apart now. Let's see what these pump gears look like. All right, a little pry bar or something. I just use a screwdriver. Yeah, I see. Yep, right there. There's the pry point. It's nice they usually give you a spot like that. Oop, actually, they gave you two. Huh. That is very good engineering. Alright, come on, buddy. Stupid screw. Always got to be one, right? Look at that big slug of yuck just stuck in those pump gears. Wow. Is that actually a line cut in it? Yeah, it is a line. Huh, it's like a little trough. Wow, more sludge. Wow, wow, look at that. So thick. Man, I don't even know how to describe it. I mean, it's almost like jelly. Oh boy, look at that. Wow. Oh, that must be where the pump pivots in there. Yeah, it looks like there might even be a sleeve in there. Yeah, and there's like a little trough cut in it. Out of the way, sludge. Alright, fine. These screws are just going to fall out anyway. Huh, yeah, there's like a little trough cut out of it, like just a line. So I wonder what that's for. It was sitting on there like that. Maybe it's like a live seal, like an oil pressure oil seal. Yeah, you know what? Because there's no gasket in there. I wonder if that's a live seal. You know, the pump, pumping. Wait a minute. Huh, that's weird. No, that's connected so the oil flow can get to the bottom side of that. Oh yeah, look at that. That goes straight down. So that follows that line on an angle. So that must be able to get into there. I mean, if it wasn't full of sludge. I have to get something smaller to see how that path goes. Try using an awl. Oh yeah. It doesn't actually seem to go in. Although there might be a go down and then go across. I mean, I don't see it where it goes in, but it actually, you know what? I think it does. I think it does go in all the way across into this cavity. I'm just not seeing it. Oh. Yep, it does. It does for sure. I can see the liquid moving around. Yep, it goes all the way across. So, I mean, there's no way that that chamber is where it's building pressure. Now, it has to be bringing it in there and out there. Hold on. Let's study this side a little bit first. Wow. Wow. That's a lot of sludge. Set that back into position again. Ooh, if I can. Here we go. Let me try to drive this on this side. Wow, look at that. Whoops. Ah, look at that. The gear actually goes right into that shaft. Okay. I'd imagine it's not clocked in a certain position. Now, it looks like it doesn't really matter how it goes together. Oil pumps are cool. Man, just look at how that... It looks like those two parts will never get into contact with each other. But once that gets around, slips right in. Very, very cool. An ingenious invention. Anyway. So this is the inside. Goes in there. Looks like yeah, and it actually goes into that area. So it's actually getting sucked up through the bottom, I guess. Oh yeah, look at that. That tool goes right into there. Hold on. Let's pop this out for a sec. There it goes. Wow. This stuff is just dripping out now. So I wonder if it passes over top, or if that's how it feeds back on itself, maybe. I mean, it looks like, you know, it must come in through this hole and then go across into the chamber where it gets pumped because of this and this. So, you know what? It depends on which way this actually rotates. I mean, and actually, now that I'm looking at it, I'll bet it rotates in this direction. I was probably spinning it wrong. It probably goes like this. So that as this rotates around, these chambers open up and let oil in. And then as it comes across to this side, the chamber closes again, which pushes the oil out into this hole. And then I would imagine that because this lid is also chambered, that in some way this must be it must be like a pass back or some way for the oil to feed back over itself, maybe with a bypass function of some sort. And from how these lines go up here, I would think this must be for lubricating itself or creating a live seal. So its own oil pressure builds up a line of pressure on the face of the pump here in this groove that creates a seal. And obviously it can leak, so that's what I'm thinking. Be really neat to see how this particular pump operates, like in one of those CAD drawing videos. It'd be really cool to see how it does it. In this thing here, I don't know. I don't know why that has a corresponding sealed area in this plastic pickup tube. You know? I don't know what this is there for and why it just goes to a plastic dimple with an O-ring around it. Strange. Now, you know, it may also be, it may be possible this whole top area here is there so that this can lubricate the top of the pump shaft. That actually might be what that's there for. Just as a way of letting its own oil pressure, as it's creating flow and pressure, it's pumping oil up to its own top to keep this area lubricated. Yeah, has to be what that's for. Well, the good thing about this teardown is it showed me a couple things. First of all, it showed me just how tight fit this pump is. And that even though this thing had 185 odd thousand miles on it, it still looks like it's in great shape. And there are some signs of wear, a little bit on these surfaces. Let me get a new paper towel. Yeah, and there's a little bit of wear on this surface too. But actually, I mean, yeah, I don't even, actually barely even feel it. It's really more of like a discoloring. Yeah, and look, there's another little crossover path for the oil to get to another side. I guess maybe that's, you know, for example, oil in through these chambers up into the top of the shaft. As it comes around through the side, it, you know, it can escape and get into here. And then, like I said, this line may be to build a live seal. Although I don't know why it would stop there. Huh. Very curious. Clean this up a little bit too. Yeah, same types of corresponding wear patterns. A little bit of marking on it, but I definitely don't feel any gouging or grooves. Which, you know, again, it makes sense. I mean, the thing is sitting in oil all the time. Now that actually might be a timing mark. I wonder if this rotates around, if they always stay together, or does it move? Oh, no, look at that. As it rotates, the marks move apart. So maybe they have to be lined up when it's first assembled or something, and then it doesn't have to be? I don't know. Probably no reason to do this, but check it out real quick. Kind of looks like a dreidel. Whoop. Grind it to a point. That's cool. Let's see here. Oh, there's another little cross path. Probably to let oil pressure lubricate this part of the shaft, maybe? Okay, so the dot faces out. You don't see any dot over there. Yeah, man, that inside just looks really, really smooth. The outside's got some scoring on it. But nothing crazy. Nothing where I imagine this would cause a loss of oil pressure. I think if anything would cause a loss of oil pressure in this engine, it would be from the pickup tube getting clogged with plastic. Yeah, I think that's good. All right. You know, I mean, I would just think that on an oil pump like this, if you were going to have something majorly go wrong, you know, some way that, you know, where the pump simply could not create flow, I think it would have to be major, like major gouging and scoring in here. You'd just see lots of wear on the shafts. Obviously on this whatever this is called. You know, I just think you would see a whole lot of gouging and scoring, major lines in it. You know, this looks like, you know, it looks like normal wear. It looks like it's gotten scratched up. I mean, obviously the oil's very sludgy and thick, so there's definitely, you know, carbon and dirt and other garbage in there. Now, I'm not saying it won't cause a drop in pressure or it won't cause a lower amount of flow. Obviously, if you don't have, you know, if you have any variations in your tolerance, you know, for example, whatever the distance is supposed to be right in there, whatever the distance is supposed to be from, you know, this surface to that surface, how this is supposed to fit inside that cup. Actually, let me check that out real quick. I mean, see, there is a bit of wobbly to it. You know, I can actually move it left and right. But at the same time, I mean, this is supposed to be sitting in oil, generating pressure, generating flow, and so all these areas are supposed to be filled with oil. So you can't have this be perfectly tight. You know, it has to, basically has to have room for oil to be in between this and the aluminum housing. And you have to have space here, inside the pump gears, inside the impeller or pump gears, whatever these are called, you know, to lubricate itself. And so I just don't see that, you know, this is worn so bad that it can't create pressure and flow. You know, and if a new oil pump wasn't so cheap, I mean, you can get a Ford factory pump for like, you know, $48. So if you were inclined to replace the pump, or if you were concerned about it, you know, $48 is certainly nothing to squabble over. Actually, I have this upside down. You know, for $48, if you're concerned, throw it in. But if you couldn't find one, or you didn't think it was a problem, I mean, I would have no problems reusing this pump. You know, it just doesn't look shot to me. So I wonder how fast this actually turns when the engine is spinning. Probably pretty fast. Maybe not quite as fast as engine RPM, but all right, well, I guess the last thing is just to check out down in here. And all I really see is a little bit of leftover sludge. Just whatever hasn't really dripped out yet. You know, a lot of it's already come out. It's just thick oil now. And let me see if I can find where this comes up into there. Oh, look at that. It goes through this. This comes back to there. So that must be a pressure relief valve. Oh, look at that. Yep, it just, oops, I got a tool stuck. Oh. I was just able to push that forward. Yep, see it? Right down there in the bottom, there is a spring-loaded shaft. Hold on, let me get a flashlight and show that a little bit better. It's the one problem with this camera setup. I don't have a light that's easy to turn on and off. Okay. Huh. Oh. Huh. Anyway, it's really hard to hold this in my mouth and line it up and get it to do it, get it to slide at the same time, but that's what that would be. That's pressure relief. So, I still don't know why it has a corresponding hole in this plastic though. That's funny. Matter of fact, since we're checking out everything else, I don't see any cross holes. So it's not like, you know, it would pressure relief and go into this and then cross over and then come back out. I don't know why that's there. Maybe it's just a little tiny bit of extra volume for space. I don't know. Maybe they needed an extra little bit of room for the oil to be pressed into or to expand, or I don't know. And this doesn't feel like it's a hex. You can feel the spring in there. I wonder if it's pressed in. Actually, I wonder why it's not just sliding out. I can't pull it. Oh, it's threaded. Huh. Huh, look at that. Oh boy. I think it might be pressed in. This fits it though. That's not going to do anything. Nope. Oof. Maybe if I bring it all the way in, maybe it presses itself out. Nah. Nah, I mean, I could probably rig something up, you know, maybe with a socket to straddle that, and then use a bolt like this to actually press it out. You know, that would probably work. Let's see. I would actually need a longer bolt to do that with, because I don't think any of my sockets are that short. Huh, interesting. That must be pressed in there though. Oop, I think I just felt it move. No. No. Well, I'm not going to worry about it. I can see it. That's how far down it goes. Yeah, it's about back to the back of that piston that's in there. Not a lot of light, but you can kind of see. Yeah, so anyway, that's pressure relief. And I would imagine it just crosses it back, you know, through that, back to this side. I mean, that's all. Probably just so the pump doesn't blow itself apart. In case, for example, some other part, you know, wherever this is pumping oil out to, in case somewhere, you know, in the crank or in the mains or in the rods, somewhere else, in case that all clogs up, or in one of the main oil galleries, if it clogs up, and this has nowhere to send the oil to, then it'll basically just pump the oil around itself in a circle. Or maybe it dumps it back right to the oil pan. Yeah, why wouldn't it just do that? Huh. Well, again, I don't see a hole there. I don't see a hole there. It's just that spot. That's weird. There's nothing in there. Huh, I don't know. Maybe it's designed to blow out. Maybe that's a very shallow hole. I mean, you can kind of see a little lump, like an indentation. So maybe it's designed to blow out. I don't know. Here's the part number for this thing. Ford. And there's the date code when it was made. 2003, looks like. Looks like October of 03, 10/03. And I think that C89WA is the engineering number. PA66 is the material. I don't know what GF30 is. Maybe that's the coloring, makes it black. Don't know. Plastic tube. Let's see what else we can find out about this pump. What else is on it? I think that's about it. I think I've kind of killed this topic. You know, without having the guy who designed it to ask questions to. You know, this is one part about automotive technology that does not always get put into the factory service manuals, actually ever. You know, your textbooks, your automotive textbooks, handbooks, you know, they'll usually describe how an oil pump works, what the names of all the components are, what this is called, you know, what it does, how it does it, that sort of stuff. There's probably also talk about the bypass valve or pressure relief. But all these little questions that I'm asking, that kind of stuff, usually they don't get into. I guess it's one of those topics that's like, you know, who cares? But, you know, I think it's interesting. So, yeah, there you have it. Pretty cool. Well, if you have any questions or any comments, post them below. And thanks for watching. And if you like my videos, please subscribe.